we are gonna get it on. Okay, we've got that Panzer IV platoon, and they are still pinned down. We're gonna try to get him back in his tank, and I don't think it's gonna work. No. This is always the quandary. What to do, what to do. Alright, at this point, I've pretty well decided I need to... The best strategy is going to be a form of firing line up against those Grants straight across from the Panzer IIIs. So there's a firing line formed. Some of the Panzer IIIs did not move, so they get 2 shots in the... I think it was 2 of them basically moved, and they only get 1 shot. So we're going to have a melee going on over there on that left flank. Now you remember at the end of turn 2 did have a destroyed vehicle from an artillery bombardment. So that vehicle is destroyed. We rolled a saving throw for the occupants, which were two units of Panzer Grenadiers. They both made their saving throws, so they are now out of the vehicle, so that's going to really hurt that team. They are now going to have to move slower because they have 2 of their units that are no longer in a vehicle, so you can see how effective an artillery bombardment can be. So what to do with that platoon? I think at this point the best strategy is going to be get them obviously out of the line of fire as much as possible and keeping them together. So we're going to be moving there to the right. We got the on-foot troops now taking cover by the palm grove. And I'm looking to see what my maximum movement is for the infantry, which is 6 inches. And the vehicles are 12 inches, so you can see now that their movement just got cut in half, basically. So they're now greatly encumbered. So we're going to move the vehicles up as much as I can. And I'm going to move some of the Panzer IVs. Granted, that one is still pinned down, so they kind of still have to stay within a 4-inch or 6-inch command distance. But I need to get them up as much as I can to start firing on those Grants on the right behind that little bluff where my right hand is. There are 3 Grants parked there. I think actually one of the Grants is destroyed, but or maybe it isn't destroyed yet. So I've done the best I could there. I've got still basically 2 Panzer IVs that can't really engage. It's starting to form a choke point right there, which is a really good point to make with strategy, guys, with how your board gets set up. You can see there in the middle of the board, I really tried to keep things more congested with various lanes of movement that you can do through the terrain, which adds more to the strategy so that it's not as open. So now at this point, that Tiger is just, he's going to line up. I should have done this the earlier move as a tip for you guys. I should have seen that that was a threat coming up, and I could have now take that the Tiger 1, and he's going to go toe to toe with that 17-pounder platoon. So you can see here from the ground eye level, we've got 3 Panzer IIIs firing straight ahead at the Grants, and then 2 firing to the right. We're going to do some more of our rolls here. We got 4 total shots from the Panzer IIIs. Only 1 hits. Now granted, that was over 16 inches, guys, so I needed a 5 to hit instead of a 4. And I was able to bail one of them out. Boo. Alright, you can see those little Stuarts are hanging back there. They're hiding. They're weak tanks, but... Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got some hits. One hit. And there's our armor... The armor save for the Brit. And that was the firepower test. So you new players, and he's successfully destroyed. There's my Panzer IVs. They're going to take some shots. It's going to end up being a few shots there. Well, actually, one of them has two because he didn't move. They're going to basically concentrate on the tank to the left with a -1 there. See, because he's firing across that palm grove. That's another -1, so it's a -2 for him. Actually, you know what? That makes it so that it's impossible to hit, so I don't even roll for that. I rolled 2 shots. I needed 5s, and as you can see there, I got no hit. Alright, now here's the Tiger 1. He's going toe-to-toe with that 17-pounder team down range. Of course, that 40-inch range, he's over 16 inches, so he still has a +1. Boom, hit. So we got a hit. We're rolling for their save. The 17-pounder saved, but now that group is pinned down because they took a hit. Alright, time for the British to do their part of turn 3. So this is the movement phase. But essentially for you new players, when it's tanks firing at tanks or like the 17-pounder, so you're basically dealing with anti-tank ratings. So you're going to be rolling one die for a hit. Then the defending player gets to roll his armor save, and in the case of the 17-pounder team, they got a straight 5 save since it's an artillery team. So they did save, they didn't get destroyed, but they were pinned down, which means they can't do anything until they do a motivation test, pass a motivation test, which is going to be your unit skill. So we're just trying to figure out what we're going to do with the... So I rolled, they did not get unpinned. And they're not unpinned, so they cannot fire back at that Tiger this turn. They're still too scared. They just had a Tiger shoot at them. Basically hitting the dirt. It's going to take a little time to recuperate from that shot, see? And that's what the game is trying to simulate there. Alright. Now we get another range in. They couldn't get completely out of sight there, which was probably a mistake on my part. I should have moved those vehicles over more to the right. So they're going to take another artillery barrage. Alright, there's 4 units. That's signaling there's 4 units under that template that are in range. And they saved. So we had a hit under the template, but the unit saved. So they got shaken up pretty good though. So they've taken a hit, so they're basically pinned down. Alright, here comes the Brits. They're going to attack those Panzer IIIs with the Hurricanes. Those are technically Typhoon airplane models, but I'm using them as Hurricanes. Got our rolls. Looks like we had 1 hit. And no good. Well, no, actually that successfully pins them down. Actually, on an armor save, you want that low roll if you're the enemy player. If you're the British player in this case, you want that that armor roll to be low. 1 or 2, typically 1, 2, or 3 usually will do it. At least get the unit bailed out like you saw there. And looks like the dice gods are going to be good for the Brits this turn. Boom, double 6s. Wow. Oh, there's some good hits. That's what I do like about the grants. Those grants, you know, if they're stable, they're getting 4 shots a tank, since they have a turret and then a hull-mounted gun. So it really helps the grant because they don't exactly have the greatest anti-tank rating. So we did get a hit. We did get a pierce, and no, the firepower did not penetrate. So there we go, some more rolls from the grants. Looking at what our armor rating was, looks like that was 1 that pierced. Boom. Alright, he passed his firepower test. Or did not. He passed his firepower test. He didn't, he just bailed him out though, looks like. Alright, so 2 of the German tanks are bailed out. Now 3 total tanks are bailed out. Alright guys, stay tuned for turn 4.